Hey everyone, it's Fox from modelmaking.guru here, back with our build of Trumpeter's 1/35 Stryker in the style of Drebin Stryker from Metal Gear Solid 4 for emodels.co.uk. Allons-y! Hello, right, well, we're back. Okay, part 5. All the build's done, and now it's time to start the painting. What have I done so far? I finished the build, added the wing mirrors and other little bits and bobs, built the turret with the gun on it, which is quite pleasant. Some photo etched brass parts in the gun, especially the shield. That will come out nicely. A little bit fiddly, but not too bad. Now, to answer a couple of questions some people have put my way, yes, I do know this isn't exactly the right kind of Stryker for Drebin Stryker. On Drebin Stryker, there isn't this basket for the gun. It's more of just an ammo case. These are, oh, by the way, thanks Ted for telling me these are smoke dischargers. These little clusters, not grenade launchers, I don't know. Drebin's doesn't have any of these, but it has an extra hatch here. This one doesn't. And a few other bits of bobs that are on this that aren't on Drebin Stryker. I do know that. Basically, I got this kit to build, and I could have built it just as a normal military vehicle, but I thought, let's have some fun with it. Let's paint it in the style of Drebin's vehicle. I know it's not exactly the right one, and I'm not out to completely convert this to look exactly like Drebin's. I'm just doing this for fun. So I know it's not spot on. I know there's some bits that are different, but it's fun. Also, as well, you know, bear in mind the one in Metal Gear Solid 4 is probably not horribly accurate anyway, because the limitations, the graphic engine, the artist that designed it. So it's not spot on. It's not exactly right. It's pretty close, but it's not exactly right. So where are we up to? Finished the building. As you can see, I've primed it. So it's a nice now shade of white. I've primed it with Tamiya Fine White Primer. It's a rattle can, I just blasted it with that. And then what we need to do now is crack on with the painting. You can still see some of the filler and the plastic card strips. I did notice as well this plastic card strip here, I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if this will focus at all because it's bright and white. The little plastic card strip here is actually sunk in a little bit where the hole is. But I'm not too fussed. It looks quite interesting. Makes it look interesting, so we can live with that. So what we need to do now is get the painting done. What I'm going to do is a basic flat black coat first. Then I'm going to go over with Tamiya German Grey, which I think is about the right colour for Drebin's. I might add a little bit of blue to the German Grey just to blue it up a little bit. And we'll do various applications of that, maybe some highlight spraying as well. So let's get on with this. One other thing as well, I'm going to, I think I showed you the tyres are rubber. I haven't attached them yet. I'm going to attach them and then put the wheels on. What I intend to do with the tyres, I'm going to paint them. I'm going to matte varnish them first, which sounds really weird, but follow me here. Matte varnish them. Well, I'm going to sand them a little bit first, just to get rid of any seam lines. Matte varnish them, then paint them Tamiya tyre rubber black, and then add the weathering as normal. And I'm going to paint them off the wheel. The reason for this is, A, it's easier to paint the wheel when these tyres aren't on it, but also in older kits a long time ago, when you had a wheel put together and you had the tyre on the wheel and you paint them all together, or just even generally had them together like this, if you left these unpainted, sometimes the plastic and the vinyl of the tyres would react, and it could go quite messy. Not so much nowadays, but it can happen. So it's always best to paint your tyres off the wheel first and also protect them with a varnish first off, just so there's something between the plastic of the wheel and the rubber or the vinyl of the tyre. So it's probably not really necessary nowadays, but it's a force of habit for me, so I'm going to do that anyway. You can't go wrong, really, especially if you're working on a cheaper kit or a kit from a manufacturer you're not really familiar with. Just play it safe. Protect the tyre from the wheel and the wheel from the tyre. Right, so anyway, let's go to the spray booth and we'll crack on with the flat black coat first. Okay, let's go. Okay, right. I'm going to do the dark undercoat first. I'm going to spray the whole model dark colour. The reason for this is that when I then spray the actual body colour over the top, I can grade it slightly to get some shadows. Now I actually ran out of flat black, duh. So I'm going to have to use Tamiya tyre rubber black, which is still dark enough for a shadow. So it's going to work fine for me. So let's crack on. I'll probably edit this down or speed it up a little bit. So I've got my Tamiya tyre black and my airbrush. Start this puppy going. Just in case you're wondering, that's a pencil blue tacked into the bottom. This means I can lift it up and hold it while I'm spraying it. So just so you know. So I'll probably edit this around a bit because it might not be very interesting and you probably won't hear anything anyway. So let's get on. Let's get this coat done first. Spray booth on. Compressor on. Let's go for it. Yeah, that's going to take a while, so let's increase the paint flow, shall we? I'm just going to paint the whole thing. I'm not doing highlighted areas, just the whole thing. I'll probably leave some light patches just to give some shadowing. I mean, some highlights even. I'm not being too careful at this point. This is just a dark shadow coat. If it's not perfect, that's great because it'll leave patches of colour, which is fine. I'm leaving little bits lighter, so that should hopefully give some kind of natural and slightly random highlight, hopefully. Don't know if you can see this with my arm in the way, probably not. Let me get a piece of foam. Might make this easier. As I'm thinking now, I might not actually make it all black. I might just over low light some areas and leave the rest a kind of greyish colour. We'll see how it comes out. Oops, a bit too close there, not to worry. See how I'm putting some shadow. I don't know if you can see from all the way over there. If you can see, I'm adding some extra black dark colours just to give a bit more shadow. It's not difficult, as long as you take your time. I'm just applying a darker, a deeper amount of paint than the other coats. There. Okay, right, that first base coat is done. I'm using special handhold technology here. As you can see, I've not gone for an even coat of black. I've kind of varied it slightly. I hope you can see all this. Oops, steady. I varied it slightly, so there's some shadowing. Most of this will probably be lost when I put the German grey coat on. And it's not an even coat, there are some exposed bits, but that's fine, because I want some natural shadows and highlights. The idea is that if I layer the German grey on areas like this, the shadows may remain a little bit. In reality and practice, of course, I'll probably just end up painting the whole thing German grey and it'll just look German grey. Let's have a look, see on there, there's some on there. Got it on the top. Oh, sorry, terrible camera work. Got it on the front a little bit. I have to be very careful not to dislodge and damage any of the loose pieces. So that's that first basic coat. So next is the German grey coat. So let's go sort that out, shall we? Okie dokie, right, that coat's had time to dry. So now we're going to go ahead and do the German grey. I've basically mixed some Tamiya German grey with a little bit of matte white. So we're going to go ahead and spray this now. Now what you will hear is an ice cream van in the background. I can't do much about that, unfortunately. But I'm resisting the urge to go and buy a cornetto. Right, so let's get this done. We're going to do a light coat, and then leave that to dry for a bit, and then we'll do successive coats. I mean, it might come out all right the first coat, so let's go ahead and find out. So we'll turn on the extractor, turn on the compressor, see what happens. Do it for a distance away first to get the lighter coat. Just gently layering it, not splashing it all over everywhere. How can I hold this? Move in a bit to the centre of each panel, try and build the middle up. Just to keep it varied but not even, just varied a little bit. Feathering it slightly. Putting a bit more in the middle of the panel as opposed to around the edge, just to give it some depth. Probably won't be able to see this because the light's fading now, so right, and so that's that coat done. As you can see, it looks a bit more shaded now. I'm afraid the light in here is terrible, but you can see, hopefully, with my shaky hand, that there's some shading on there. Now what I'm going to do next, that was just a light coat of the German grey with a few dabs of white in it, just to lighten it a little bit. What I shall do next, while this is fully drying, or when this is fully dried, I shall lighten the German grey even more. See if I can get close in on that for you. And just do a few more highlight coats, just in the areas where I want it a bit lighter. Maybe an overall misting. So, the light's so bad now that I can't carry on today, so we'll have to jump this to next weekend. So stay tuned. I shall film that when I get a chance next weekend, and this will all be hopefully one episode, and hopefully it's not a complete absolute disaster because of the lighting. Oh, I forgot to show you. I'll show you. Also did the gun emplacement. Again, it's not very good, and I apologise for the wobbly hand camera work. And I've done the wheels as well, wheels and bits. So I shall go and mix some paint. So back in a moment. Okay, right, I've come up with a temporary lighting solution, which means I can carry on. I don't have to wait till next weekend. So, probably see a bit better now. Excuse me. The lighting is actually a bit harsh now, so it's harder to see the subtle differences. But there's a nice variation between the dark, shadowy areas and the lighter areas. Now, I will be doing weathering to this once I finish the painting to bring back some of the shadowy areas as well anyway. Some bits I've missed, I've just spotted. So I'm not too worried right now. This is just to get a basic colour template. So I'm going to put everything on. I've now got some of the same German grey as before, but mixed even lighter now. So let's give this a go. So same as before, just colouring little areas basically, and bits that I've missed. So start with the side. Just going to mist it from a distance first. Bit there where I've splodged the paint, so I'll have to blend that a bit. Oops. The good thing is, if you make mistakes, it just adds to the natural chaos of the colour anyway, so it's not the end of the world. It's schnoz done. Shadow's a bit of a pain. See a few bits where there's no paint gone in, so I have to overdo it a little bit to correct that. But I don't mind making it too bright and too light, because again I'll weather it back to dark anyway, so. For now it's just about getting a nice variation in colour. Hold it. And yes, I've just realised I forgot to put gloves on, but never mind. Okay, right, back again. After I'd gone off camera, I did another quick go of the XF85, the rubber tyre, or rubber black it's called, from Tamiya, just to go around the shadow areas again, because they kind of disappeared a bit. And then went over again with a quick blast of the lightened German grey, just to bring out some of the highlights back again. So I don't know if you can see, I hope you can see on here, it's it looks a bit drastic on camera, but it's actually more subtle in real life. Just to give some variation. I wasn't looking to shadow and highlight every single surface, so there is some unevenness to it. I was just really looking to give some variation to the colour, so it's not just a flat grey. I will be doing weathering, obviously, to bring out some of the recesses, but this is just the base colour, so I'm not too fussed if it's uneven and over a bit random. I put a bit more of the tie black in here, so it's darker, and a bit more of the light and German grey on the bonnet area here, so it's lighter. And underneath as well, I did some shadowing in the little trenches here and around the axles. There are some bits where the paint's come off, but I have to touch that up anyway, so I'm not too fussed. And a bit on the nose, on the front plate so you can see the shadowing. Again, it doesn't look this drastic in real life, it's just the camera that makes it look a bit more drastic. So that's the base colour done. I did the turret as well, same treatment. It's got a nice bit of random shading on the shield plate here, if you can see. Just to break it up. I mean, I'll be doing highlights and dark washes and things as well anyway. This is just really to get the base colour. So it's all done. I've not done the back of the wheels yet, so I need to go off and do those. But that'll do it for this time. Next up, I have little details to paint. Little bits to touch up. I'm going to paint inside the capstan area here, various colours on the capstan, the motors in there. I've not attached the gun yet. That's going to be painted. I'll paint that by hand, but that's a different colour to the rest of the structure. And I'll paint little details. I'll do that off camera again, as always, because it's small and fiddly, and it won't make for good filming. Get the back of the wheels done, and then we'll get everything in place then for the decals. Now I have actually started the design work on the decals. I just need to wait to be able to send them off, so it might be a few weeks before I get those back, but we shall see. I'll give you a quick look at the decal sheet I'm doing. So here's the guy only needs a rough sheet with the basic images, and he can redraw them and do them for me. So here's what the decals might look like. Okay, now you might be asking, they're black decals on a dark vehicle. No, I have to do them in reverse. He's going to print them for me white, so I have to do the black and white reverse. So anything that's black is printed white, and anything that's white is just clear or transparent. So I'm going to get those done. Hopefully be sending those off for the next few days. But for the moment, that'll do. Should I think now? Only got some little tiny details to paint. So until that point, we're kind of stopped for a little bit, because I think I'll get the whole thing finished first. Then I'll start on a diorama, or I might start, if it's going to be a few weeks, I might start on a diorama anyway. But that'll do it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Only a short episode this week, and badly filmed and badly lit, but hey, what can you do? As always, this is produced for emodels.co.uk, my good friends there who very kindly provided this model. Go along to their website, emodels.co.uk, strangely enough, and check out their selection. They've got a huge selection of models, anything from military to space to sci-fi to figures, you name it, they've got it. Also accessories, stuff for dioramas, tubing, piping, plastic card, things like that. Lots of equipment, spray booths, airbrushes, everything you need. As I always say, if they haven't got it, you don't need it, but go along and check them out. They're really good. The service is fantastic. As I said last time when I got these glues, I ordered them one day and got them straight away the next. And I ordered them after the cut-off time as well, so nice one, guys. Go along to their Facebook page as well, facebook.com/emodelsLTD. Brilliant community. Post up pictures of your work. See work by other artists, some of which is absolutely fantastic. Some of the work they have on there, some of the models they show off that people have built are unbelievable. Go along and have a look. They'll keep you updated on new products coming out and when things are back in stock. And it's a good little community. You can hang out and have a laugh. So yeah, go along there. Also, as always, go along to my website, www.modelmaking.guru. That's .guru. Post up blogs of all my builds, although I haven't for a while, as I always say, because I never get around to it. Lots of pictures of some of the models I've made, and I also take commissions, and I'm selling some of the models as well, so have a look and see if there's anything you want to buy. But that'll do it again for this time. We will see you next time when some more little bits have been done. Might make a start on the diorama. Might be a bit of a delay. As I said in the last video, I've got a commission now, so I spend a lot of my time on that paid commission, which obviously I love doing this, but this does come second to paid work. So this is at weekends I do this. So I'll try, and if I can't get a full episode, like this one's a bit short, if I can't get a full episode, I'll bunch a couple of weeks worth of filming together to make one episode. So don't worry if there's a big gap between installments. But that'll do it. I will see you next time. Take care. Thanks for watching, and as always, adios amoebas.